Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me introduce myself. My name is Rizky Alawi, NIM 2120172. Class English for Islamic Education F. I'm from Institute for Islam Studies Pekalongan. In here, I will answer the first was a segment. Number 1. The act of shirk is one of the major sins that can plunge the person who commits it. 3-4. We must avoid the act of shirk so that we avoid the big sin that causes us to go to hell, because the sin of shirk is not forgiven. Number 2. Women who seek money are legally allowed, but the property produced from the wife's work completely belongs to the wife. If she uses it to support the family, then it includes alms and glory. The husband's obligation to earn a living remains unchanged. Nisa verse 34. Men are the leader for a woman. Therefore, Allah has favored some of them or men over others or women, and they are men who spend part of their wealth. In this verse, it is clearly stated if the obligation to give livelihood is on the shoulders of man, must try his best to provide for his wife, even though the conditions are difficult. This obligation does not necessarily fall by itself, even if deliberately does not work. Some scholars classify his action as major sin. Number 3. It is permissible for a woman to seek money, but the assets produced by the wife's work are entirely owned by the wife. If she uses it to support the family, it includes charity and honor. The husband's obligation to earn living remain unchanged. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say in Surah An-Nisa verse 34, men are the leader for a woman. 3. Therefore, Allah has favored some of them or men over other or women, and they are men who spend part of their wealth. In this verse, it is clearly stated if the obligation to provide maintenance is there on the shoulder of man, must try his best to provide for his wife, even though the conditions are difficult. This obligation does not necessarily fall by itself, even he deliberately does not work. Some scholars classify his action as major sin. Number 4. Divine tax or zakat is obligatory for a Muslim. If a Muslim has a lot of wealth, then zakat is obligatory in that property, because there are some assets belonging to people who cannot afford it. Number 5. It is permissible for a person to do Hajj by taking debt in advance, but it should not be done, because Allah does not burden his servant to owe for Hajj. If he continues to do this, he owes money and performs Hajj, then his Hajj is valid and he is obligated to pay off the debt. Number 6. Hajj is one of the 6 pillars of faith, and the law of Hajj is obligatory for those who can afford it. So if we have performed the pilgrimage, then we have performed one of the pillars of faith. And in Nusantara culture, people who have performed the pilgrimage will be called as Hajj. For men, Hajj for a woman. So people who after performing the pilgrimage are still not allowed to feel superior to others who have not performed the pilgrimage. In this case is that we remain humble, so that the highest degree in the eyes of Allah is the one who is the most pious and devoted to Allah, because the degree of man in the sight of God, what makes the difference in his piety, not because he has made the pilgrimage or has not finished, stay humble. That's why I can say that's one I can say. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.